Do you intend on keeping Tennessee with no state income tax?
Absolutely. We should not do that. We shouldn't have a state income tax. We're not going to. And here's, to add a little philosophy to that, taxes are really the government's way of saying, give me some of your money and I will spend it in a way that we think is best for you. That's really what elevating taxation is. Now, there's right taxes, we've got to have revenues, but that's why I'm always going to be opposed to raising taxes whenever it's absolutely possible, because I do think you know better how to spend money, we do, than the government does.
All right, next question is from a farmer. Focusing on farmer and vocational education and small business, how can we as farmers/owners help you make our lives easier and better educated in the future?
This idea of vocational, technical, and agriculture education. I met with the Tennessee Association of Agriculture Educators the other day. They're all, ag teachers all across the state. My roommate, before I got married, when I was in my 20s, my roommate worked for Extension, and then he went on to be an ag teacher in Dyer County. He's got one of the best agriculture education programs in the state, but there are not very many of those. We need to do the same thing for ag education that I'm talking about doing for vocational and technical education, and support youth organizations like FFA and 4-H, things that I was involved with as a kid, Young Farmers and Ranchers. Those are youth development leadership organizations that allow children who are involved in the ag industry and that grew up in that industry to believe that there's a future in it. Let me just tell you this too. We're not talking about just farming like your grandfather farmed. I've visited companies in Memphis that are innovative, creative, high-tech agriculture of the future companies. The ag tech industry and the ag of the future industry is robust. Y'all know, as long as people are eating, there's going to be an agriculture industry. And Tennessee can either lead in that, or we can just kind of continue down the same path that we have been and sort of support it. And everybody's like, yeah, we love farmers. It's really not just about loving farmers. It's about recognizing a critically important economic driver in our state and investing in those technologies and in those investments and those business startups that can create an ag industry of the future all across this state. And it starts with youth development and education.
How will your faith impact how you govern?
I get asked that a lot, and I think when you govern from every experience of your life, right? If you've been a parent and or a husband and or a business owner and a farmer and a guy whose relationship to Christ is the most important thing in your life, then all of those things, in order of importance in your life, all of those things will weigh into, and they're filters by which you see the world. It's a world view. And I have a world view that will clearly impact my decision-making process. But I'll tell you, the best way to answer that for me, my very first ad in this campaign, besides my introductory ad back in February, was start off by saying, Jesus says that love the Lord your God is the greatest commandment, but the second one's like it, to love your neighbor. How my faith will impact my role as a governor is because what that means most to me is serving the people of Tennessee, every single one of them. That's how my faith will impact, because it creates within me a desire to love my neighbor and to serve them in a way that makes their life better.
Bill, talk about your views on the Second Amendment.
I think the Second Amendment is fundamental, guaranteed. Infringement means infringement. Our founding fathers knew that this country would not have been created were it not for the ability to bear arms for its citizens. The future of our country, I believe, depends on the ability of its citizens to bear arms. And so I am a staunch defender of the Second Amendment because I believe it's actually important for the future of the country. And there's a lot of political pressure whenever we see a tragedy that involves firearms. And I am a guy who knows tragedy, and my heart breaks when I see it, and all of us stuff. When you watch something on TV and you're heartbroken. Children killed at school, somebody killed in a Waffle House, somebody killed in a newspaper press room because of the actions of some sick criminal. But the wrong response, and all of us want to go, gosh, we need to do something about that. I feel like that when I watch it on TV, but what we don't need to do is to take away the rights of law-abiding citizens because of the actions of criminals. That's the wrong response.
Next question, will you give our Tennessee veterans better recognition in our state?
Yeah, my wife is especially, I look forward to her actually leading me in that. She is we all are grateful for what the veterans have done. They've created a country. They have allowed a country to exist where we can sit right here and do this in public. We can talk about ideas freely. We can elect. We have rights and liberties and freedoms. I can talk about my faith in Christ without being, that's because our veterans have allowed this country and fought for you and me to be able to do that. So we're indebted to them deeply, and my wife is more indebted to them, I think, than me. She cries when she sees them with their hats on in the airport when you walk through. Yes, we've got to be committed to them. I'll just tell you what we've done in my company, and it should be a reflection to you of how I feel like we ought to move going forward. So in our company, we partner with 5, maybe 6 organizations. Paychecks for Patriots, Ready for Retail, Soldier for Life, organizations that serve veterans as they come from combat and make it easier for them to reconnect through job placement, training, life skills. And that's critically important. It's beneficial to our company to do that, but we have a history of doing that and training, and so that same desire to serve those who serve us that we've done in our company is what I want to take beyond into state government. And we do have great opportunities to enhance the ways that we serve and benefit those who have served us. So I'll be committed to that for sure.
And the next question, we touched on this just a second ago. It simply says sanctuary cities and illegal immigration. We talked about that just a second ago. So
a sanctuary city is by definition lawlessness. And we are a nation that's founded on the rule of law. So a governor has a responsibility to carry out and execute the rule of law, which is why we should never have, it's not like a choice to do that. It's because you just are making a choice to break the law. So we shouldn't do it. And they're not going to be here in Tennessee legislatively. But the broader point, a couple bigger thoughts about immigration from my perspective, Congress, our Washington, D.C. politicians have failed us for many, many years now on illegal immigration policy. I mean, all of us have known for years what was happening, and we've not been able to do anything about it because Congress is so dysfunctional. Republicans and Democrats in Congress have been so dysfunctional on that issue. But a state has a responsibility too, because we have this illegal immigration problem. By the way, we have a president who's finally, I believe, going to address that. But a state can either be a more attractive place or less attractive place for immigrants by the policies that it either allows or stands against. Driver's licenses for illegal immigrants, which we've had before, we don't have now. In-state tuition for illegal immigrants. If I'm an illegal immigrant and I have kids and they're about to be college age, I believe that Tennessee would be an attractive place to go if I had in-state tuition. It's not about the people. Y'all know I have served people, and I've served the poor in Mexico multiple times with my family, in Africa and Haiti, and gone to Iraq, and it's not about people that we don't want to do for. It's about policies that make a problem for our nation even worse. And so I'll stand against policies that make Tennessee a magnet for illegal immigration.